Hello, it's Polish Pol VR, welcome back to the channel. We are here today to do some more PlayStation VR2 news, and also we're gonna review this. This is the Globular Cluster off-ear PSVR2 headphones, so I'm gonna have a look at that, how they work and if they worth it, but also we've got few bits and bobs when it comes to PSVR2 news. So, with that out of way, before I start, if you like what you're seeing, then please press a like and subscribe, because it does help the channel a lot. And before we do anything else, quick word from our today's sponsor, the Zodiac Trials. This is 13Z, the Zodiac Trials, an action roguelite inspired by Eastern mythology and fast, stylish combat. You play as challenger fighting through the 12 Zodiac Guardians, mastering new abilities and transformations as you climb toward the title of the 13th Zodiac. Every rune reshapes your build, new powers, new combos, new ways to fight. Leap in, slash through enemies, and grow stronger with every setback. Created by the team behind Sariento VR and Hellsweeper VR, 13Z brings their signature fast movement and kinetic action to PC. Plans for virtual reality are in the works. And now, the co-op demo has arrived on Steam. Team up with up to 4 players online, mix your abilities, revive each other, and cause a ton of glorious chaos together. Try it for free. For streamers, Twitch integration is ready. Your fans can vote on modifiers, crank up your difficulty, and drop surprises into your rune at any moment. 13Z, the Zodiac Trials. Rise together, fight together, claim your place. Link to the Steam page is in the description. Okay, we're starting from the review of Globular Cluster PH2 headphones. And those are off-ear headphones, and they aim to replace the stock PSVR2 in-ear buds. But are they actually worth the upgrade, or do they suck balls? I'm gonna tell you all about it. Let's go. Listen, I'll be honest here. When you run a VR YouTube channel, you get sent a fair amount of free shit to you, which I can't complain about. But those I bought them myself for around 40 quid, because I just wanted a cleaner, more comfortable off-ear audio option for the PSVR2. I've used that clip-on speaker attachment before, but it's never really impressed me that much. It's okay when you really need it, but to be honest, I don't need it that much, so I hope those might finally be the solution. Right out of the box, the design is cool enough. But once you attach them, they immediately bulked up the headset. With my AMVR comfort kit already fitted, the whole setup ends up looking like some kind of PSVR2 Frankenstein machine right now. They match the PSVR2 aesthetic fairly well, but the clips that latch onto the headset are slightly different shade, which makes them look a bit off. The fabric on the earpads also feels a bit loose and gives the whole thing a cheaper vibe than I expected for the price. The small connecting wires that hang between the left and right sides are probably the weakest point here. They feel very fragile, like you could easily accidentally snap them if you pull them the wrong way. But at least installation is incredibly simple. You just unclip the original PSVR2 earbuds, slot those into the same mounting points, pull the strap back and lock them in. It takes seconds and they sit securely with no extra tools or fiddling. Once the headset is on your head, the comfort is very good. The headphones rest lightly on your ears and they're easy to adjust thanks to the vertical slider and the ability to rotate them forwards and backwards. Pretty much anyone should be able to find that sweet spot. One bonus I didn't expect is that they make the headset rumble feel stronger. Because the headphones touch the sides of your head, the vibrations spread across more of your skull, which creates a cool, more immersive haptic sensation. But we cannot talk about headphones without talking about the sound quality. And this is where things get a bit more interesting. The PH2s, they use 40mm dynamic drivers, which is a fairly standard size for gaming headsets. Bigger drivers usually mean better volume and stronger bass potential, and you can turn those up very loud. They do get really loud if you want to. That said, the driver size doesn't save them from the biggest limitation, which is very narrow frequency range. Globular Cluster PH2s list the headphones at 100 Hz to 3 kHz. To put that into the perspective, human hearing goes from 200 Hz to 20 kHz. And even budget gaming headsets usually cover almost that entire range. Having everything cut below 100 Hz means the deep bass, the rumble, the punch and the weight of the sound simply is not here. And on the other end, you're missing everything above 3 kHz. That removes the sparkle, the clarity, and gives games, it's something that gives the games their crispiness. So, high-end details, positional clues, subtle effects, all of that gets flattened. The result is a sound that feels dry, muted, and less dynamic. But to really test them, I fired up Thumper, which is one of the best games for exposing audio weaknesses thanks to its huge range of tones and intense sound design. Thumper immediately made the limitations obvious. The audio lacked that smoothness, the bright high-pitched elements were slightly muffled, and the whole soundscape felt like it was missing few layers. When I pushed the volume to the max, the headphones got incredibly loud, but also started to distort badly, almost like the drivers were tearing themselves apart. Nobody is likely to play at that volume because it's way too loud, but it still shows the overall ceiling of this hardware. In less demanding games, you won't notice the issues as strongly, but if you're even slightly sensitive to audio quality, you will hear the downgrade compared to the stock PSVR2 boots. So, where does that leave them? And overall, the Globular Cluster PH2 headphones are extremely comfortable and incredibly easy to install. And for some people that might be just enough. But the sound quality simply doesn't live up to their looks or their price. They feel a bit cheap in the hand as well, and they sound a bit cheap in the headset. The PSVR2's default in-ear headphones actually deliver slightly better audio performance even if they aren't as comfortable. For those reasons, I'm giving the Globular Cluster PH2 Stereo PSVR2 Headphone Soundkit a 6.5 out of 10. They are comfort upgrade, but definitely a mild sound downgrade. Okay, now let's move on to the PSVR2 news. Zodiac Studio, the team behind Exocars and the delay hit Omega Pilot Evolution, just confirmed that their newest game, Skyleap, is coming to PSVR2 in January 2026. Skyleap is all about vertical VR parkour, a non-stop climb where you combine jumps, a grapple hook and even telekinesis to keep pushing higher and higher through a world built for fluid motion. You'll be dodging turret fire, avoiding nasty obstacles, firing weapons mid-air and changing jumps with telekinesis to keep the momentum flowing. Speed, reflexes and smooth movement are everything here, and the game includes upgrade customization options and a high energy soundtrack to keep the adrenaline pumping as you climb. Right, okay, a brand new gift of gaming VR bundle it just dropped on the PlayStation Store for $50. For less than the price of one flat game, you get in 3 solid PSVR2 titles. Absolutely fantastic V-Racer hoverbike, the trombone of the trombone champ unflattered, and Surviving Mars Pioneer. A really nice move from Flat2VR Studios, packing in variety and value in the single bundle. If you want a cheap way to stack your VR library, this is well worth having a look. Now, the latest Flight Simulator beta update dropped, and while it hits all the platforms, there's one section PSVR2 players will care about the most: VR improvements. A good sign for the upcoming PSVR2 version. The updates include a fix for a projection issue affecting the Foveated rendering region in the sky. which is exactly the kind of VR specific polish we want to see this close to launch. This is important because Foveated rendering is heavily used on PlayStation VR2, so smoothing out those visual quirks now should mean a cleaner, smoother and better experience when the headset updates arrives next year. The beta also improves overall stability with fixes and the two UI tiles failing to load sometimes, reduces stutterness tied to low memory use, and a bunch of general gameplay fixes. From avatar positioning during RTC2 wind layer display on PS5, aircraft pre-flight interactions have been cleaned up, and beacon light rendering issue across the world have been sorted. It's not a huge patch, but the VR fix is promising. It's a sign that the team is actively tightening up the immersive side of the sim as they push towards the PSVR2 release next year. Now let's talk about Pulse VR. The developer just shared a new list of fixes coming in the next update, and it's a chunky chunk of one. They've tackled a bunch of VR specific issues, flat screen bugs, and some weird edge cases players have been reporting since launch. On the VR side, they fixing, fucking shitloads of things. Motion controller issues where the option button don't pause the game, Foveated rendering toggle showing incorrectly, hands clipping inside solid objects, invisible collision near certain slides, footstep sounds behaving wrong, especially on glass floors and even while standing still on escalators, underwater effects missing in parts of Chapter 5, specular brightness problems in one of the Chapter 2 rooms, and they've added gravity area comfort mode to the accessibility menu. Flat screen mode also got several fixes, including underwater rendering, camera sensitivity options, and visual presets behaving properly. There are still a couple of known VR bugs they're investigating, like jitter, possibly related to Foveated rendering, and a start position issue on the yellow slide, but overall, this update looks like a solid quality to life boost for the players and flat people. We still spit on them, but also they still fixing the price, so it's still too expensive. I said this game is not worth more than $10, but that's my personal opinion. I've done review yesterday, so I'm gonna send you out there. I'm gonna link it somewhere in this video. But for today, that's it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate all of you being here. If you like what you're seeing, then please subscribe, because it does help the channel a lot, and press a like, and it's just better for all of us. And it's more all of us here. So yeah, thanks. And that's it. Bye 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 bye.